students, myself Dr. Bharti Patil, working as an assistant professor physics in Maharaja Jivajirao Shinde College, Srigonda, Ahmednagar. We have started our syllabus related to solid state physics related to TYBSc class. In that we have started our second chapter, that is X-ray diffraction and other characterization techniques. From this chapter, today we are going to start the remaining part related to experimental methods of X-ray diffraction, and in that we are going to see one of the method of X-ray diffraction, that is Lau method. We know that in 1895, in my previous lecture I have told you that in 1895 Roentgen has discovered the X-rays, but when they were discovered, their nature of the X-rays were unknown to the scientists. Therefore there are two groups of scientists. Few of them are considering the X-rays are similar to cathode rays, that is they are having particle nature, and one group or the few scientists are considering that the X-rays are nothing but the electromagnetic radiations. If they are electromagnetic radiations, then they should show the properties such as light rays, and hence as light diffract, reflect, then there is the polarization of light. So hence few of the properties such as diffraction, then polarization, interference should be shown by these X-rays. And in order to consider the wave nature of the X-rays, wave nature of X-rays, X-rays should diffract. In ordinary light, we are using plane diffraction grating to diffract the X-rays, but if we want to diffract the X-rays by using plane diffraction grating, then it is very much impossible, because in order to diffract anything, that is the rays, the slit width should be comparable to the wavelength of the light used. And if we consider the wavelength of X-ray, they are having very short range, that is wavelength of the order of 1 angstrom. And hence, if we want to use plane diffraction grating to diffract X-rays, the number of lines ruled on the grating should be in millions. That is about 40 million lines are required to diffract the X-rays by using plane diffraction grating, which is not possible. So, and this is per centimeter, and hence this is not possible. Hence Lau scientist, he has used the crystal to diffract X-rays. It was his observation that the interatomic distance, that is distance between two atoms, this interatomic distance is comparable to the wavelength of X-ray used, and hence these X-rays can easily be diffracted with the help of crystal. And in his observation, by his observation, he has used crystal as a three-dimensional grating. He has used crystal as a 3D grating. Because in plane diffraction grating we can diffract light in two-dimensional, and since the atomic arrangement is in 3D, so the crystal can be used as a 3D grating to diffract the X-rays. So diffraction of X-rays is possible, and hence the method which is used to diffract X-rays and which was invented by Lau is called as Lau method of X-ray diffraction. So, diffraction method, in this diffraction method, a X-ray source is used, and this X-ray source is a white source of X-ray. It means that it is polychromatic. It consists of many wavelengths, then X-ray beam is allowed to incident on a crystal, and this crystal is having specific size. The size of this crystal is size of crystal is less than 1 mm. About 1 mm or less than 1 mm is the size of the crystal, and this crystal is single crystal. This crystal uses single. In his original experiment, he has used ZNS single crystal, but now we want to study many more single crystals by using Lau method. So here we have to place a crystal in single crystal form whose crystal structure or the crystal orientation we want to study, and hence now this is not a ZNS crystal. If we want to study ZNS crystal, then we have to place a single crystal of ZNS, and suppose I want to study the single crystal of nickel or nickel oxide, then I have to keep the single crystal of it. Like that, the material under study should be in single crystal form and its size should be less than or is equal to 1 mm. These are the basic requirements of Lau method, and after that, that is X-ray beam will allow to pass through this single crystal, and it is allowed to incident on a photographic plate which is placed as shown in figure, and hence the X-rays which are emitted or which are transmitted through the single crystal are allowed to incident or impinge on a photographic plate. And this is the photographic film, and you will observe the pattern like this, and these are the spots which are created due to the diffraction of X-rays from the various crystal planes where the Bragg's condition is fulfilled. We know that Bragg's condition is 2d sine theta is equal to n lambda, where d is equal to interplanar distance, theta is angle of angle of incidence, or it is also called as glancing angle. N is the order. This order might be a first order, second order, third order, fourth order, like that. And lambda is wavelength of X-ray used. So we are observing the spots at the points where the Bragg's law is fulfilled. So how this condition takes place? When X-rays are allowed to incident on a single crystal of material under observation, then we know that there is the arrangement of various planes. And here the glancing angle, that is angle made by incident X-ray with the crystal surface theta is equal to fixed. It is fixed. We are not at all rotating the crystal. The position of X-ray crystal is fixed in the path of X-rays, and also as the position of theta is fixed, the d value, that is interplanar distance, is also fixed. So here in this case there are only two variables, and these two variables are nothing but the n, that is the order, and lambda, that is wavelength. So now theta is fixed, and n and lambda are the variant, and so this condition is fulfilled for the various values of n and lambda. And for that situation where the condition is fulfilled with the help of n and lambda considered, the spots are produced on the photographic film, and this is nothing but the love pattern of the material under study. So what is love method? In love method, we are taking one white source of X-ray, that is a polychromatic source of X-ray, and the X-ray beams are allowed to incident on a single crystal of the material under study. The specification of the crystal are such that its size should be less than or is equal to 1 mm, and the glancing angle theta is fixed. As glancing angle theta is fixed, the value, that is interplanar distance, also fixed. Now there are only two entities which are variable, and they are nothing but the order of diffraction and the lambda of incident X-ray. And where the Bragg's law is fulfilled, 2d sin theta is equal to n lambda for the various n and various lambda, we will get the diffraction, Bragg's diffraction, and the spots are produced on the photographic film, and these spots are nothing but the love pattern of the material under study. Then what one can study with the help of love method? So applications or uses of love method. So here we know that the love pattern that we have obtained, they are having symmetric patterns, because we know that in crystal there is regular periodic arrangement of atoms in three-dimensional space, and hence the patterns that we have obtained on a photographic film after its development, we observe that these are the symmetric patterns, and hence one can get the idea about the orientation of planes, that is crystal planes, and planes with the help of love method. Also, by using the orientation of planes from the orientation planes, one can obtain information about the symmetry of crystals. Information about the symmetry of the crystal. Then also the drawback of the Lowe method is that one cannot study. The drawback of Lowe method is that one cannot study or one cannot identify the exact crystal structure of the material. One cannot identify the crystal structure of the crystal because there are the overlapping of the patterns due to the various wavelengths, because we are saying that there are planes which are randomly oriented and the Bragg's condition get fulfilled for the various values of n and lambda, and there is possibility or there is occurrence of overlapping of these spots. Therefore the one cannot identify the crystal structure of the crystal with the help of Lowe method. But if we give some heat treatment to the material, or if there is a production of strain in the material or the crystal material, not material, in a crystal, because we are taking a single crystal, when there is a treatment is given, heat treatment is given to that crystal, or there is a mechanical strain produced in the crystal, then the symmetry of the Lowe pattern get disturbed, or instead of sharp spots one can get strains, and that's why one can know from this Lowe pattern, one can know what is the effect of that mechanical strain on a crystal. So these are the one. So with the help of Lowe method one can identify the effect of heat treatment or mechanical strain produced in a crystal under observation. So in today's lecture we have seen one of the method of the X-ray diffraction, and this method is applicable to only single crystals, and the specification of single crystal is it should have dimension of the order of 1 millimeter. Then X-ray source should taken a white light, that is it should be a multi-wavelength source of X-ray. Then it is allowed to incident on a crystal under observation, and here theta we are taking theta as a fix, means angle of incidence is fixed, and d value, that is interplanar value, is also fixed. Only n and lambda are varying. Then when the Bragg's condition is fulfilled by the planes which are heavily loaded by the atoms, then there is the observance of the spots on a photographic film, and we can say that the Bragg's X-ray diffraction condition is fulfilled, and we will observe such type of spots which are having symmetry in their appearance, and these spots are called as spots, and this pattern is called as Lowe pattern of the material under study. Then what is the use of Lowe pattern? With the help of Lowe pattern one can identify the orientation of planes present in given single crystal. Then one can identify the symmetry of the crystal. If the orientation and symmetry of the crystal is known, then one can also identify the size of the unit cell. Size of unit cell. So size of unit cell can also be determined. Then one can identify the effect of heat treatment or mechanical strain produced in a crystal, because if we give mechanical treatment or the strain is produced in a crystal, then the symmetric pattern of the lobe will have different orientation, and hence that difference can be identified easily. And it's one of the drawback is that one cannot identify the crystal structure by using this method, as there is the overlapping of the spots due to various wavelengths or the various diffractions. Thank you.